You can come closer if you don't mind. But if you want to be in the sit, tell me, okay?
You can take this chair, empty this chair.
Is this time?
Yes, ma'am.
You can just press that on the counter in the kitchen.
Push the refrigerator.
Yes, thank you.
What is this? What's this?
Yes, ma'am. You come closer, baby. Let me get the chair for you. Yeah, give my daughter a little time. She's the camera woman for today. So she's just getting right. Oh, yeah, perfect. There you go. There you go, baby. And you got the dog following you. Look at you. There you go. Keep it right there. Let me see.
She needs to back up a little. Okay.
I'm waiting on you, Si.
Okay.
So you can catch Si sometimes. Catch Si.
Nah, you ain't gotta catch me.
Wow, there you go. Go on. You gotta catch them off and on so they know.
Yeah, get that
Not
Hey,
recording.
BJ.
young fuck over there.
Yes, so we over here, we talking about scholarship. We
Oh,
talking
you live
about,
now?
Yeah.
I'm trying to go live. I
We
forgot.
talking about scholarship. We talking about debates. We don't talk. We just, Divine Prospect is one of the people he brought up. You know, we gonna show these people some love today and say their name. You know, we gonna deal with the history, you know, of why I won't debate certain people at this particular moment in time, and the credit that I will extend to people when it's due. You know, so he had brought up two people in particular. We're gonna get into that. Just waiting for him right now.
Okay.
Waiting for him right now. We're gonna get it in.
Okay, we live, brother. Let's go. Let's get it.
Okay, remember if it stops, let me know. I'm gonna let you know what to press, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's get it, man.
Let's get it.
You should do it. That's YouTube?
Facebook.
No.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
It's all good. Yeah,
Tap is a tap to invite the viewers to be in the broadcast. How do you do that?
I don't got that. I got a fan page, so
Oh, so I could just tap it and they what? They come in?
I guess follow instructions. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, yeah.
Mine don't
right.
say that.
Yeah, see,
You
this is the
probably
new
use-
shit. This is the new joint I got. I told you, man.
It's
You gotta
new
get
stuff.
the,
I don't know.
you gotta get the new phone.
I think you
Y'all
probably
gotta caught
use
up.
it.
See how my joint look? Look, I'm telling you. See how I look?
But there's a difference between a regular page and a fan page.
Yeah, I don't got a regular page.
Oh, okay. Y'all just gotta get
And there's 20,000 people on my page. They ain't gonna treat me the
Okay,
same.
yeah. So, brother, did you see the joint with Divine Prospect, and would you sit with him because now he's on this rampage to really wanna bang on the Nuwapians. So now that you are no longer a Nuwapian member, I think he feels safe. Will you still come out and challenge him on some of the information?
Well, I tell you this. Not in the name of being in Wabi. And at this particular moment in time, as we discussed prior, what happened the last time we encountered each other? Did people say for me to stop beating up on that boy? Right or wrong?
Yeah, that's true.
And people felt bad for him. People were actually mad at me the last time I dealt with him. And he looked so deflated and out of energy.
Like he wanted to cry?
Yeah, he did look like he wanted to cry. Facts.
Uh-huh.
He did look like he wanted to cry. And
But I think he had grown since then.
I would believe that. I
Yeah.
mean, most people do after stuff like that. There's only two things that can happen. Like 50 said, you get in this insensitive space right now. You know, and that's okay. But I have nothing to do with his particular path at this moment in time. Because on several occasions, he was given an opportunity for him and I to really look like this is what we need to do. And at Kemet on Trial, another occasion, he aligned himself with people who didn't even give him the opportunity to speak when, honestly, he should have spoke as much as the Zion Lex.
Shout out to my man Nature Boy, man. Shout out to my brother Nature Boy. Yo, hit me up, Nature, so we can do an interview. You ever heard of Nature Boy?
I think so.
Nature Boy, when he first came here with Pharaoh, when they first sat down here, he's out there living in nature.
Well, okay, that helps.
well, you know, yeah, he's out there living in nature.
I think I know about the guy that Pharaoh was under him or something that
No,
began.
him and Pharaoh, when Pharaoh first came to the House of Consciousness,
He was with that guy.
he was with him. He was
I
with my
remember
brother.
that.
He was with brother Nature Boy.
I
So,
thought he got his teachings from Nature Boy. Oh, Nature got it from him.
Well, you know what? They both gone. I think Pharaoh learned some shit from Nature Boy. I can see it in there, and you know, it's like both of them. So yeah, you gotta know who Nature Boy is, bro. He go on, he streams all the time on Facebook as well, and he got his own community out there wherever he's at. I don't know if he's in Mexico this time. I don't know where he's at.
Oh, that's what's up.
But he's got his own community, and
sounds good that the brother is not being limited to American jurisdiction. Yeah,
if you see him, bro, I'm gonna show you one of his videos.
Okay,
he's out there. He go out there. Man.
That's good.
You know?
That's good.
He's outside of the box, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
So yeah,
I mean, if he's teaching the people and he's organizing on a scale past just being on YouTube, then salute to the brother.
He's in the jungle, Mexico, right now. You see him? He's in my own joint. But yeah, he's in the jungle in Mexico right now.
Man, that's good to hear. Sounds
so
good.
I think that'll be a powerful build with y'all two.
Okay, I'll look him up.
Yeah, look him up, Nature Boy. Nature Boy.
That sounds good though. I probably am familiar with him. I probably just gotta look at him. You know, take a look at him. You know, but respect to the brother. You know, if he's doing what he's got to do, respect him, especially if he organized it. Gotta always.
Yo, Nature, hit me up, man. We gotta do something, bro. You're ready. So yeah, as far as
Divine came in on trial. What was that? How long did he speak and what did he speak about?
I think he spoke for about a good maybe 15 minutes.
Do you remember what he talked about?
No.
Now you see what I'm saying, and that's a problem because with a memory like mine, I should remember what he talked about. Do you remember what Zion talked about? That debate?
Zion didn't speak.
No wonder we don't remember what he said either. So what I'm saying is, these were the two.
I know what Hashar talked about.
Yeah, he talked about my Giuseppe's and my Yankee fit.
Right.
This is what the Hebrews had to offer us, and then they elected for Divine to speak lesser time, and Divine aligns himself with people who wouldn't give him enough respect and credibility to the information he could have loaned them to. I wouldn't say persevere, but do a better job. So there were several opportunities, and what happens over time, different circumstances are created where it doesn't even suffice it. The build up and the hype ain't there. Like, who's gonna be excited about Divine and Polight like it would have been prior when they just said after that last communication with him, we're gonna leave him alone.
He said, Nature Boy said he wanna build with you about money being your God.
Oh, that's
what he want to build about. He want to build about money being your God.
Maybe you
do you still feel today that money is your God?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Well, hold on. Money, my religion. Let's do this right.
Nature Boy saying
he had to slow down.
The sun is his God. The sun.
I don't have a problem with that. Money's my religion. Let's put that right.
Okay.
Money's my religion. The black woman is my God.
Okay, say it. He hear you.
Okay. Money's my religion. The black woman is my God. Let's get it right, because he keeps saying money's my God, money's my religion.
All right, you hear that, Nature? Okay. You hear it, Nature?
Yeah, money's my religion. I gotta make sure we don't mess this thing up now.
All right.
Okay, so I don't have a problem with that. If he's okay and comfortable with me establishing money as my religion, I'm okay with having a conversation on your voucher that he's a good brother. Brother Sinetta. I don't mind.
Yeah. So, Nature Boy, a good brother, man.
Yeah,
that's my man right there.
And I don't mind if the son is his God. It sounds like a practical idea. I'm down with practicality. But in my religion, the black woman is God, okay? Because money's our religion. And the day and time that we in, we have to facilitate a means to which end we can provide for her.
When we dealing with the knowledge, I think you and Nature Boy will have some powerful information coming out together. I'm telling you, Nature Boy is powerful when it's dealing with the mind. All the crazy stuff that people try to say,
no doubt.
When you deal with the information, when you deal with the knowledge, Nature Boy got some fire.
He got fire?
Yeah, he got some fire.
I don't mind.
He say things that's outside of the box. You know what I'm saying?
We go blind debate. We go on a blind debate.
Yeah.
I'll pick up whatever I can pick up from him, and whenever you're ready to do a live stream, we can have a great discussion. As long as we keep it respectful.
Yeah, he keeps it respectful.
If he's a respectful brother, I'm down with great dialogue if it empower and impact the people. We just talk about perspectives at the end of the day.
The black woman and the black man is God together, positive and negative charge.
Who's talking that talk?
That's Nature Boy.
Okay, I mean positive and negative charge.
Yeah, that's Nature Boy right there.
That's a nice thing to say. I wouldn't exactly identify it like that, but it's okay. You know, but the black woman is my God. You see, I speak specifically. So you see when I say money's my religion and the black woman is my God, you see how that works? It keeps me in a nice space. And then now what I would do is proselytize, okay? Or I would suggest to other people to perhaps consider making the black woman their God as well. for X amount of reasons. So, you know, I preface my statements a certain way so I don't come off as too romantic with it. I don't want to romanticize. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, money is my religion, the black woman is my God. And I would like to impart wisdom about my religion to other people who don't understand it. That's what I want to do.
So go ahead and do it.
And I'm pretty sure, well, I'll wait until it's time to debate him. But I'm pretty sure that when I'm done, he may want to reconsider maybe the acquisition of this religion versus what he may already have established for himself. If anything, he probably could share some of these ideas to some of the people that he's dealing with. But the black woman most certainly should be considered God to people who share similar grievances as I that come from this, or part of the same demographic. That's what I'm going to say. Being a part of the demographic I'm from, or come from, I should say, I believe it's a catalyst to which it can bring about change for our community, because we'll be driven by certain socio-political circumstances that will then suggest to us what needs to be done in real time. And then when those things change, then maybe we can transition to the sun, right? But, you know, we're going to wake up every day and inevitably we're going to see the sun for the most part. The black woman's condition inevitably is indefinite until pending change, social change. And her condition ultimately dictates to us our condition. She is the way she is because we are the way we are. A wise man said that. That's not even my words. You know who said that, right, Sal? She is the way she is because
we are the sun experiencing itself subjectively.
Okay, so
that's what he's saying right now.
If we are the sun, then we are the gods that he's worshiping, and that sounds cool. Okay, we are the sun, but you know I'm talking about that ball of gas over there that goes through 554 million tons of hydrogen that transition to 550 million tons of helium, with the other 4 million tons get hurled off into space and get caught into elliptical orbit. That means that it goes to circular motions, but it's actually oval, and it cools off and becomes a celestial body, which tells us that the sun is responsible for creating anything that exists outside of it. All right, so I know what we're talking about. I'm just saying.
You ready for this, boy? Come on, man.
So, I mean, it's the sound. We could be children of the sun, so to speak, but we're not actually the sun. We know this, but it's okay. We could do it. I don't mind. We have a solar plexus, right? That may be.
The sun is not gas, though, Polight.
And someone gassed you up because those things that you call rays from the sun is hydrogen, and that's what promotes consciousness. This is fact. You go chemistry.
Nor is it hot.
Well, I will tell you this: it becomes hot by the time it enters this Earth's atmosphere. I don't mind.
This is not the
No, I don't mind. This is good conversation to start up because you're gonna run out of gas. The same gas you're talking about, you're gonna run out of gas.
But no, that's not Nature Boy saying that. That's somebody else saying that.
Well, good, because I was saying sun's gonna run out of gas. But this is good, so you can kind of get a perspective of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's cold energy.
Yeah, but I don't know why someone would feel it necessary to bring up if it's hot or cold. They're gonna start sending us any and everywhere. Are we still good, baby?
Yeah.
It don't even do that when I got it. It always be stopping when I got it. That's good.
It does do
The
that.
Earth
I just
is
resumed
the
it.
sun. Nature Boy.
Oh, you just press resume?
Nature
Yeah.
Boy.
Oh, good. You got it. You know how to do it.
Nature Boy. The Earth is the sun.
The Earth is the sun,
Uh-huh.
and the sun is also the sun at the same time. The Earth is the sun, and the sun is the sun. Make them call in. Yeah, this is getting kind of weird.
Now, you see, this is what I mean by the spook stuff. Do you consider this like spooky teachings, or maybe it may be a higher metaphysics?
I would say this. Before we communicate, we have to have an understanding about what exactly we're going to be talking about in what realm. So, if we're going to just say we want to get philosophical about what we're doing, then there's a certain pass for some of the things he may say, right? But if we're just going to make statements like the Earth is the sun, and then Polight is going to ask if the Earth is the sun, is the sun still the sun? Because if there's two types of suns, we might as well call this sun Earth. And if this type of sun is called Earth, then it doesn't suffice to call it the sun. We might as well call it Earth. That's the kind of conversation I'm going to want to get into, and then someone's going to say I'm playing semantics. So I just need to know what kind of conversation we're going to have. Are we having a scientific conversation? Are we philosophizing? Are we making analogies about things based on how we want it to be or based on our own meanings? Is this about interpretation? Is it about interpolation? Then I'll know how to appreciate a conversation, or I'll decline to even have it because I would say there's too much space or room for us to make up things.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna press time. All right, Nature Boy, I'm on my phone right now, so you ain't gonna be able to call in. So what I'm gonna do, Nature Boy, is I'm gonna give you the number, and I'm gonna direct you to go to Polight page. What's the name of your page?
Facebook.
Brother Polight.
Yeah, Brother Polight.
Go to
Polight.
Go to Brother Polight Facebook. He's live right now, And what I'm gonna do is give you the number where you could call in, Nature, and then you could call in, but you could be watching it on Polight's Facebook. So here's the number. I'm gonna give you this number.
Yeah, just keep yours on until he calls. Since he's already watching yours.
Damn, why I can't text in my phone?
Text?
Why can't I text?
Help him out, Aminette. He's supposed to do it.
How do I text, Aminette?
iPhone.
Oh yeah, we don't really.
Aminette don't know either.
Yeah, we need some assistance. But yeah, family. Hold on, keep it right there, baby. Let me see how we looking.
Yeah, ask Africa.
Okay, no. Africa ain't gonna know this. This is different. On Facebook?
Just swipe.
How do I text, man?
Text for me on Facebook.
I'm live right now.
Yes. So wow. So now he gets technical assistance. So I swear nobody don't know nothing but
No, see, this is different. I'm trying to tell y'all.
we talking to the next generation. My baby
All right, let me
teach me
go.
all sorts
Don't worry about it, mama.
So
Move.
just tell him the number.
All right, the number is. What's the number, Sal? All right, he asked me the number. 347. 347, my brother. The number is 347. Can you put it in there? Can you text?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's another one.
That's a different Facebook.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
347.
Yes, we're gonna see if we can get the brother on who said that the earth is a sun or is the sun. And then Polight's question is if the earth is the sun, then is the sun still? Because the
Hold on, man. You're breaking my concentration.
the is a definite
The
article.
number is 347 670 670 0017 0017, Nature.
Did he get it? Let him confirm.
Confirm you got it, man.
Or call by confirm it, actually, right?
Because I'm going to hook this joint up. This is going to be good right here.
What, you going live now?
No.
Oh, I'm about to say.
I'm going to make it where he can hear you.
Okay, because I'm sick.
Put on the speaker.
I got
Oh, man.
No.
Damn.
All the thing. Relax.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
When I tell you about that relaxed stuff, I am relaxed.
Okay.
Let me change the rest of this. I'm sorry, y'all waiting, but it's going to be good. I'm retitle it. It's going to be real good.
Nature, did you get the number? Yes, that's the number, Nature.
We'll call it Polight versus Nature Boy.
That's the number.
That'd be interesting. I think y'all like it. Should I stop it, y'all, and then start it over and call it Polight versus Nature Boy?
Nah, they get it. Nature Boy is good, man, Polight.
It's good. Ain't nobody telling me, though. The closest someone could come to me is at eye level. You have to be pretty tall to do that.
Oh.
This is water, son.
It's okay, Sonetta.
You got a little on top of that. I'm gonna just drink the rest of this, so you ain't gotta worry.
Damn. Come on, Nature, where you at? You ain't calling yet?
I hope you got it up under that.
I did. Give me a napkin, though.
Can you give me?
Oh, nothing mind, no.
Yeah, you need one for the counter.
Yeah, I need one for my hand too.
Oh, you need.
Yeah. Hold on, real quick.
Peace. What's up?
Hold on, family. Don't control all that. So if he's,
I don't know if it's him or not.
yeah, I don't know.
Out to him to build with him. I already know he got a big following, so I already know how it goes.
Yeah, so I'm sorry about that, brother. I don't know. But, I'm looking at some of the comments on my Facebook briefly, so they have a lot to say about you, but I can't say nothing because I'm just encountering you for the first time. I'm just going to judge you based on the merit of your conversation at this particular point. I don't deal with all the speculation, so I'm just letting you know that this is not no slick stuff going on. I'm just going to build with you on the merit of a good build because it's so spontaneous. And hopefully we just have.
Well, I appreciate it because I've been wanting to build with you. You know, I've been wanting to build with all of y'all, but I left the country. I left the country for disagreement. Money is your religion, and the black woman is your God.
Okay.
And what I said was, nah, man, the black woman and man is God, and that's negative and positive charge. That's negative and positive charge. And the sun is our God. And nature is our religion. Not money, nature. Nature is our religion. Nectar is our religion. All of the elements and everything that sustains our life is our God. We have many gods, but the main source of our God is our higher self, which is the very thing that we are, which is the sun. The air that you breathe. We in three forms right now. We got breath, we got bone, and we got blood. Your blood comes from your bones come from the sun. Your blood comes from your bones. And your breath comes from your blood. And your breath comes from your blood. So we threefold carbon. You understand? And those forms, solid, liquid, and gas. And so we are the sun. We are living, breathing souls. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I hear you.
So I wanted to say that to you so bad. Every time I was in live, I'm like, yo, money can't be our God. It can't be our God. Money is our devil because money replaces our morals. When we were a civil people in tune with nature, when we didn't need money, on a dollar bill is "In God we trust," right?
Where you get these ideas?
And basically, no, listen to what I'm saying. "In God we trust," right?
No.
Those are the morals.
Before you go to "In God we trust,"
go ahead.
What's that stuff you were saying about money just not too long ago? What you were saying? What you were saying about money? Money. You said money is.
You gotta look at your camera.
You said money is evil.
Money is the evil.
Okay.
Money is used against us.
Okay, no problem.
As a people.
No problem. And then just to be clear.
All right. So and then let me just say this. Brother Polight.
One quick question.
I admire your work.
Thank you, brother.
I just want to say this real quick. I admire your work. I follow you online.
You ain't gonna put me to sleep,
I appreciate what you did for the kids.
Oh,
listen, you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening, brother.
I appreciate what you're doing for the community, from where you at. I appreciate your accolades and everything that you achieved from where you came from. I heard your life story. I admire everything that you do and where you have reached, and I admire your mind. So I don't want to make you think that I'm an enemy. I'm just saying to you, I'm not coming at shit next. I'm letting you know I admire your intelligence. I feel like your intelligence is headed in the wrong way, in the wrong direction. That's my opinion. That's just my perspective.
No, I appreciate
and I would like to build
brother.
with you about that.
Man, thank you for being my brother, because I respect a brother to do that. Okay, so this I'm going to have you keep building. I just wanted to make sure I understand that. I want to make sure that according to you, money is evil and we didn't used to use money. Is this correct?
Yeah, we never use money.
Okay.
We didn't have to use money.
Yeah, where you get
we use morals. We didn't have to use money. We had morals. Morals is the only thing that we need for trade. In a society, in a civilization, morals is the only thing that we need for trade. Because we had morals so highly standard, that we didn't even need money. You use that money as a promissory note that says that you can trust me because I have this dollar, which is backed up by some natural resource. But the truth is, all we got is each other. And we should have the morals to not lie, to not steal, to care about each other like you care about your brother. We used to have that at one point when we was in tune with the earth and in tune with our true essence, which is nature. We had those morals, but we didn't even need money. We have to get back to that state. You understand what I'm saying, brother?
I hear you. I understand what you're saying. So now I need to be part of this conversation. I'm hearing the things you're saying.
Told you, man.
I need to be part of this conversation. So you said we never used to have money, and in fact, money is evil, and in fact, money, we dealt with morality, and we used to exchange morality, correct?
Right. Basically, what that means is that there was a golden rule called do unto others as you have them to do unto yourself.
Okay.
So what that means is no one was homeless. No one could be ever homeless. No one could ever be hungry if we all lived that way like we used to live, when we shared in that way, when we loved each other. And this starts, and let me say this.
Okay, brother.
This starts, and it could start right there with you and your family. It could start right there with you and your family, right? Everything starts at home. So it starts with the family base. So it started with the black man and woman. And our family has been broken apart because of money.
No problem, brother.
Because of money, our family has been broken apart. Man, woman, child has been broken apart because of the economic system.
Okay, brother. So I'm a slow learner, and I'm not being facetious. I actually take a very long time to get off a page that I really like. If I read a page in a book that I really like, I stay on that thing for so long. It's ridiculous. I'll be on it for a whole year if possible. So I'm going back to the money thing. So I need to work with you here. Okay, so I know money to be. I'm just gonna get its colloquial meaning right now. Just a Merriam-Webster's dictionary meaning. It's a current medium of exchange in the form of maybe coins, banknotes, coins and banknotes collectively, medium of exchange, the assets, property, and resources owned by someone or something, wealth, payment for work or wages. So, the first point of contention that I have, though I have many that I would like to point out, is if we exchange morals, then morals would have been a form of currency, which would have been our money. So we always had money, because there's always going to be an exchange or barter system where we consider something to be of value. Secondly, I would need a reference for what point in time did any civilization not exchange, barter, buy and or sell, only within the context of exchanging morals. Now, I've never heard this before. Now, what I would say is, it's a very fanciful idea. It sounds great. And if you want society to work towards those ideas, I appreciate the concept, and it may need to be fine-tuned. But nonetheless, it sounds very positive. But when we start saying this is what we used to do, and we never was there, and money is evil, and we exchange morals instead of currency, now I have to say, where are you getting these ideas from? Because I've never heard of it, I've never come across it, and I'm looking for a point of reference for it. Do you have a point of reference where a group of people never bartered, bought, exchanged, or used any other type of medium other than morals to get their home, their goat, their sheep, their oxen, their blanket, or anything else that's considered of value?
Okay, so, all right, I appreciate you running the definition, but I can give you a point of reference right now in this time and place because I live so close to it. I want you to look out and I want you to realize that the human race is only one species out of how many species on this rock that we on, or whatever you want to call it, whether it's a flat plane or a rock. How many species on this planet need money to live other than the human species?
Okay, so I'm gonna ask the question one more time before I answer your question, because
okay. So I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, I totally understand. It's called demurring. That's when you answer a question with a question. So before I
right, I think you missed. I answered your question, but I don't think you understand. So let me break it down.
No. Before you do that, hold on, because you was talking to Lewis. Hold on, before you do that. Hold on. Before you do it, I'll go again. You said I could show you something more modern. My question was, when did we ever have a society, as far as civilization is concerned, meaning I'm not talking contemporary times, when in history can I find as a point of reference where we exchange morals, which in fact would have made morals currency, okay? But show me where in history, by virtue of what money means, morality would have been currency, because we bartered or we exchanged it for one thing for another. It still would have been currency anyway. But let's ignore that. And I'm going to bite on what you're talking about by simply saying, do you have a point of reference in history, not contemporary, where we as a society did not use coinage, did not use bartering, did not use buying and sharing, but we use morality in order for us to sustain and gain some kind of financial or economic momentum, or to establish housing, or to get clothing, or to get food, or deal with agriculture? Where in history did you get this information from? As I said, it sounds like a great idea we can move towards and maybe fine tune it and tweak it. but morality is very subjective, and that's one of the reasons why it wouldn't be able to hold up as a form of currency anyway, but I don't mind. Do you have a point of reference historically where man in its inception or a little later afterwards only survived off of morality itself?
All right, so this is why I'm going to answer your question. First of all, I'm going to say this, that I get your point on money being a currency and morals being a sort of money in our days. So listen to what I'm saying.
By your definition, I'm listening.
So what I'm saying to you, listen. You're asking me for history of our oppressor's history. Like, basically, when you say history, you asking me to give you knowledge that only you can get in your DNA. Now, listen, let me finish this now. I know it's going to sound crazy for you. Because when you say history, you are talking about what the white man recorded. Do you understand that?
I do not understand what you're talking about, but I'm walking with you
to okay. All right. When I say all of our history that we have today has been through the interpretation of the mind of our oppressor, unless we have went over there and looked at it ourselves. But even then, that is only what we can see from that civilization. There was so much more that we don't even understand. And this is where our problem comes in. You asking me, show you in history where we had a time where there was no money and it was only morals. It's like asking you it's asking me to say, show me in history hip hop. Show me in history where there was hip-hop before hip-hop now. Now, I know you can go into some kind of way of trying to say, like, well, in Africa we had hip-hop in some kind of formal way.
Hip-hop just had a birthday. Hip-hop just had a birthday.
Let me finish my statement. Wait, let me finish my statement.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Let me finish my statement.
I got you.
What I'm saying to you is, we are in a new world, brother. We in a new time. You never seen the things that's coming out of us now. What I'm saying is this, like, maybe you don't even understand that the things that's about to come have been in a history that they haven't never dialected or found. And what I'm telling you is that what we have in our DNA is beyond what you can find in history, because we are the Alpha and Omega. And I'm telling you that we have to tap into a natural state to come into a point to ever even tap into you understand what I'm saying? To invent something new. They know what we can do. We don't know what we can do. They play with the idea of what we can be. But we know here. I'm out here closer to the equator in the jungle. And my mind already knows how the system is supposed to be. But I also know that we are wrapped in a system that is perpetuated to keep us against each other and keep us on vibrating to a lower frequency of electromagnetic field. And I know the game when I could break that whole game down to you, what you're doing over there, compared to where we're supposed to be as a people.
No doubt, brother. So now let me chime in for what it's worth, okay? Let me get a little bit of this. What I'm hearing from you, and then this is what I have to make clear. You say a lot of things that I like hearing. It's just not addressing the conversation. You're saying a lot of things I appreciate, what the white man does with history and everything. But if a man asserts that black people never did something before, then you have a point of reference for where you get that idea from. So, I'm not going to hang on this no more after this one. We can move on to the other things.
To the sun. Let's go to that sun.
Not yet, though. Not yet. But what I need to know is, now what I take from what you're saying is, I should just take your word for it, because white people have been lying to us. Even if you assert that something transpired historically, I should not look to reference it after your assertion, because you are closer to the equator. And because you're closer to the equator and you understand what's really going on, and this information is actually in our DNA, the only thing I can conclude from this is that I should just take your word for it whenever you tell me something. Now again, the things that you say after the question, I like almost everything that you say. But I feel it's a bit misappropriate.
And then that's what we use. Then we use that. Then we use that, Brother Polight.
Hold on real quick.
Brother Polight, we have to...
I don't want to confuse what I like hearing for history. I like hearing what you're saying. It makes me feel good as a black person. You know, white people be telling lies, and you know, our information is in our DNA. And the closer we get to the equator, you know, it's going to make a distinction amongst those of us that know what's more relevant with this day and time. I'm just paraphrasing. Than those who further. I understand. I appreciate a lot of what you're saying. The problem is when you say we never did this before. Because remember, money's my religion. So I ain't gonna have nobody just bashing my religion like that. So if you telling me something about religion, my religion in particular, then I gotta fight for my religion. We gotta have a religious crusade. So in my religion, I can show you historically money being used since time immemorial in civilized communities. That's why I said civilizations. Because as thinking people, you say, you know, show me another species that needs it. Show me another species with the brain capacity that we have. As we are sentient beings, as we went past or transcended Homo genus and Homo sapien, once we go past those things, we become so sophisticated and so crafty, we need laws, we need rules, we need regulations. And it's not at, and hold on. I got you, brother. So morality is going to be subjective. And the reason why we know morality is diverse because it's subjective is because we see all these different factions or different religious denominations who all have the truth, who all have moral systems that conflict with each other. So we can't just in general say, well, morality is our currency. So again, for the last time, if you don't have a point of reference after asserting that we never use money, I ask again, what is the civilized culture that you can point out as a matter of reference, not because of no white man, because I've heard this from only black people telling me.
Nature, tap out, nature, that's all, man.
Hold on. I've only heard black people come up with this idea that we never use money, money is wicked.
Right.
But I know people are wicked. I don't know no damn dollar shipping nobody. I never saw a $5 bill trip nobody. I never saw a $100 bill kill nobody.
Right.
Black people do this. White people do this. People world over do this. Money just be sitting there.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And if people use money for evil and it can be accredited for evil, why can't we accredit money for good? You feel me? Why can't we accredit money for good things if people do good with money as well? Why are you taking only the bad things? But I may be asking too much questions. So one question is, are you tapping out on a point of reference for where you get this idea black people never use money as a form of currency or never use money in general, one. And then the second question is, if money is evil and is being used for good as well, why is it only evil?
Ooh, good point.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say to you, and you said a lot. And what I noticed about watching you is that, you know what I'm saying? Listen, this is what I noticed about watching you is but you met your match now, brother. You met your match now.
Go ahead, Nature.
I got a question. Listen, I got a question for you, and I'll let you speak, so don't cut me off.
Just go.
I got a question for you.
Okay, we ain't gonna get the answer. I got you.
Yeah, I got a question for you, brother Polight.
Go ahead.
Who owned the bank?
Who owned the bank? Well, the bank that I'm running, the bank that I'm part of is called One United Bank, and the CEO is a former Black Panther, but the whole board is black, what you call African American, whom I call American Africans of the diaspora. It's called One United Bank. They're actually the biggest black bank in the world. That's where I have my money in, One United Bank.
Okay, so who owns that bank?
One United is ran by
Who owns that bank, brother?
The CEO of the bank is a black man. The CEO is the one that's accredited.
Now, who owns that bank?
The CEO is accredited for owning the bank or running the bank or facilitating the means for banking to transpire, and he's a black person.
So are you going to tap out on that question and we're going to move forward or what?
The person that is the CEO of the bank and the CFO of the bank, as well as 7 other succeeding members of that bank.
I'm going to ask you again, brother Polight. Who owns that bank?
I answered your question, sir. Unlike you, I said that the people that own that bank are black individuals or African Americans.
The CEO is not the owner of that bank. You know who owns the bank is the Federal Reserve. Why is we playing, bro? You more intelligent than this.
Hold on, brother. The Federal Reserve does not own the bank. That's incorrect.
They just own the money. They own the money that they print the money, right?
No,
who owns the money?
The Federal Reserve does not print the money. That's also incorrect, sir.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Again, who owns the money? Because I don't see no black people on this money. Who owns the money?
As far as Ghanaians have black people on their money. Does that mean they own the money only in Africa?
Yeah, we already know who owns Ghana's banks. We know who owns all the banks of the world.
Hold on, slow down.
Stop. That's your religion.
Hey, stop, brother.
That's your religion. I'm asking you. This is your religion.
Okay, I heard you say that several times. Let me
now
respond.
who owns all the banks of the world?
Okay, stop first. What we're going to do is take our time to dissect everything you're saying so I don't omit anything you said. Now, what you just did was assert that since white people are on this dollar, then it's clear that we don't own the money on this money. So I said Ghanaians have 6 black men on their dollar, right? So I would wonder if now...
Who owns the treasury?
Can you stop real quick and let me talk real quick, my brother? Because I'm not talking...
Who owns the treasury, brother Polight?
Can you stop real quick, my brother? Ben Bernanke is the one who takes receipt for treasury.
You trying to bully me now.
I'm gonna wait until you stop filibustering.
You trying to bully me. You trying to bully me like you do everybody on your channel. I watch you all the time. You always bully people. I'm asking you a question, a simple question. Who owns the treasury? Who owns money? Who owns money? You playing a game. Money's a game. Who owns it?
What you're doing, brother, is asking me several questions at a time, and it's evolving as I'm teaching.
No, it's just one question. Who owns money? Who owns money? It's a game. Who owns it?
Can you let me talk, brother? You can't keep cutting me off when I'm speaking. You're saying I'm bullying, but
go ahead, brother.
Thank you, my brother. So we went through quite a bit of the evolution in this conversation. So in one element of the conversation, depending on the face we see on the dollar determines who's the people that own the money. And we escaped out of there. We hauled ass. The second I started asking about that, because I said, well, there's places...
It's the symbols. It's their symbols.
I don't mind you keep cutting me off, but understand it's going to take longer for me to say what I have to say so we can move forward. I move forward.
No, because what you do, I'm going to tell you what you do. This is what you do. Every time, this is what you do. I'm going to tell you, now you're going to have a whole speech. You're going to use a whole bunch of big words, and you're going to confuse the mind of the black people because we don't have a big vocabulary. It makes you seem really intelligent, and because people can't keep up with your vocabulary, and you know the average person can't keep up with your vocabulary, it dumbs everybody down to think like, you know what, he's intelligent. But you can't get me with that because I understand all your words.
I'm glad you can't be tricked by me, brother. So now allow me to speak, my brother.
Okay. All right. I'm just telling you to answer the question simply.
Yeah, I want to get to the sun now. Let's get to the sun.
The whole thing, it's your religion, right? If you ask me who owns my religion, I'm either going to say Jesus or God. Who's the God of your religion? You should know right off the bat. This your religion, money. Who owns money? Who runs it? Who's at the top of money?
Okay. Stop, my brother. Stop real quick. Because it's clear you don't know what the word religion means. And it's also clear you're overlooking what the word money means. So, now we have several things to talk about here. You're doing this. We
really don't, man. Everybody know what I mean. You don't have to do
Everybody
all that.
does not
Everybody
know
knows what I mean, man. All you got to do is make it simple. You want to make it complicated and be literal. All I'm saying is this. Everybody knows what I mean that's listening. When I say money, which is your religion, who's running the money? If money is a game, who owns the money?
Well, stop.
Who owns the money?
Okay, brother.
Who owns the resources behind the money?
Stop.
Who owns the world that you live in?
I had a hard time getting you to answer a question. When I had a hard time getting you to answer the question, I did not tell you was talking too long. In fact, I had to tell you when I waited my turn that you talked at length, so please give me some time to speak. That's what I said to you. Okay, now in your religion, you have to exercise more discipline to allow people to talk even if you disagree. That's what I need you to do. Because in your religion...
Every time I started talking, you cut me off.
So in your religion, y'all exchange morality. I don't know what part of morality is filibustering. You got to allow me to speak even if you think that my style of debate is unbecoming. You still got to allow me to get a word in edgewise. Now,
answer the question, Brother Polight. You got to answer the question. It's a simple question.
You cannot ask me 5 different questions and evolve as I keep picking holes through it. And
yo, son, let me tell him to answer the question.
Tell him stop cutting me off.
You got to stop cutting them off, though. Let him get it out, and then you can go.
Yeah, brother, calm down.
No, because I'm going to tell you what he's trying to do, son. What he's trying to do is he's trying to break down the word money. He's trying to break down the word money, which he's going to bring it back to treasury. He's going to say that what we're talking about is not actually money. He's talking about, who owns the money? He's going to use another word to express what I asked him in English, trying to make me look silly. But we all know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. It's really simple. Who owns the money that you're talking about is your religion? Money's your religion, then who's your God?
No, we ain't
who owns you?
We're going to educate the brother.
Who owns you? Who do you praise?
All right, you got to let him talk.
Now it's who owns me. You see, it keeps changing. So you got to stop talking because you keep asking new questions. And I'm keeping up with every question you ask, believe me. But I got to answer.
It's not new questions, but it's one question. It's only one question.
So who owns the money owns me? That's what you're saying?
That's a fact.
So you're telling me you don't spend no money whatsoever in your life?
He's a liar.
Absolutely, I do.
Okay, so someone owns you as well too, right?
Yes.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Does somebody own you too? That you don't got no control over yourself. Somebody owns you, right? Because you.
No. It's a different.
There's a different. Hold on, stop. This is. Hold on, stop. Brother, stop. No, I'm not gonna listen. I'm gonna tell you why. This is why you should, before you keep saying new things, let me address the previous things you said, because then we'll never address the first things you said, because you keep blurting out other things that are in question. I don't mind. Let me talk. Let me talk.
Well, ask the question, who owns what?
Okay, stop, brother. Stop. We're not doing it this way. You don't ask me a question, switch the question, ask me another question, switch the question, and find the one you really like. I'm going to go in the order in which you ask me these questions.
It's the same question, though. It was the same.
It is not. It is not the same question.
It's one question.
It is not the same question, and whether you agree it's the same question or not, at least give me the liberty to respond to some of the things you've been saying as an intellectual, brother. I'm dealing with you as an intellectual, and I'm presuming you'll have more discipline to just let me respond, brother. Let me respond, brother. Stop jumping.
This is my issue. All right, before I do that, I'm going to let you respond. This is my issue, right?
This is crazy.
My issue is this, because I was trying to respond to you. The first thing that you asked, you had asked me two questions, right? You asked me two questions. Let's bring it back because we're intellectuals, right? You asked me two questions, Brother Polight. Right? You asked me about the civilization, and then you asked me the other one about...
That's incorrect.
Something else about the same thing.
That's incorrect.
Yeah, about the...
That's incorrect. I did
ask you two questions, and I was about to answer them. And then I asked you a question.
All right, yo, hold on.
And hence the confusion.
Now, let me finish. I asked you a question, and in that question... I wanted to ask you who owns money real quick to answer my question.
And unfortunately, I'm not giving you the response you're looking for.
Now, listen, let me finish. You're trying to take, it was a simple question that I thought you would give me a simple answer, but I see you're taking the mic back now, and now you're going to break down some words and break down the etymology of some things, and then you're going to, I'm trying to answer the question you was asking me by asking you a simple question, but you're going to make it complicated, so I'd rather not even go into it. Because you're going to take the time.
Let's go to the sun. Take him to the sun.
No, we're not doing that. We're gonna eventually answer this question, but we gotta do this the right way. We're not gonna keep jumping around from one idea to the next. You can't tell me how to answer a question and what's the simplest way for me to answer it. You gotta listen to me respond, and then whether you have an anticipation for the response or not, respond nonetheless. If you don't want to have the conversation, we can just get off the phone. We can move on and live our lives. But brother, we gotta be respectful. Let me have my build. You have your bill, and we gonna get it in.
Yo, Nature, come on, man. I've been telling them that you're nice with it, so don't let me down, Nature. Come on, man.
Yeah, so now let me go to the money thing.
Let them talk, Nature.
You don't have to tell people what I'm about to say. I'll tell them.
Go ahead, talk. But when I start talking, I don't want to be cut off. Then I'm going to let you talk.
All right.
You've been talking the bulk of the time, my brother. That's not a problem. I even be real here. Okay, so now, when we talking about money, I think what he wants to do is talk about the International Monetary Fund. That's probably what he wants to talk about. But he doesn't have the enough information to jump into that word and go right there. Now, these are not big words I'm using to persuade people's judgment. This is actually an acronym. Okay, and this acronym is the International Monetary Fund, which he's probably talking about, probably. But I still have to say, I got to make a presumption because I'm not too sure what he's talking about anyway. Okay, I'm just grasping for straws here.
Would you like to be clear about that? Would you like to?
Not at the present moment. Not at the present moment. I just want to converse with the people that's listening so we can get on track. Because what I know that he's calling money doesn't fit the description of what he's talking about. And unfortunately, I'm always in this position. I find myself in a position where I make sure I understand the words that I'm using so I can use them properly in my deliberation. I don't want to have a conversation with somebody where we can make up the words and terms as we go, because that's where the confusion comes in. So now, there's a discrepancy here. Because by his logic, the complexion of the race or the race on the money determines who owns the money. And in turn, whoever owns the money also owns us. With the exception of him who also has money, but he's not owned by who owns the money, but who owns the money owns me.
I never said that.
You did say that, and you're recorded, so don't worry about it. You can rebut it when I'm done. Don't worry about it. Because I asked you right after, do you own money? And you said yes. I said, does that mean someone owns you? And then now, you went into some other stuff. So what I'm saying is, if by virtue of the fact who owns the money, someone owns me, and if I own money, I'm owned by default, and then he owns money, then by default, he also has no control over himself because he's also owned. That's one. That's what I can take from that, from him saying things. Now, one of the other things he says is there's white people on your money. So white people own your money, white people own the money. So I said, well, the Ghanaians have money, and their money has 6 black people on it. We then jump out of that conversation. Well, we know who runs their bank and own their bank. No, you made it a point of the people that's on the actual paper determines who owns it. So now since you blurted that out, I would like to make it clear that the Ghanaians have black people in their money, so I guess it's safe to presume that they are an instance in time where black people own the money. Now, these are not my ideas. I would have never had a conversation like this from the get-go. These are things that's being said at random, and he's hoping that we just omit it from conversation.
You picking out things I've said, though.
I got you. You can correct me later.
You picking out things I've said,
I got you, brother. No problem.
Brother Polight, you picking out things that I've said.
No problem. Okay, I got you.
And then you're
correct me later.
Weak point.
No
You're just
problem.
bringing up my weak point.
Okay,
but you're not really getting into what I actually said, though, brother.
Okay, I got you. Hold on.
What are you doing? It's called comprehension.
I got you, brother. And one thing we both agree about is these were your weak points. You and I both agree with that. So now we're gonna move forward. So don't worry about it.
You're doing. You're trying to.
Why would you argue about your weak points?
Instead of be real.
I got you.
You're trying to be right instead of being real.
I understand, brother, but understand whoever you're debating is not going to speak to you the way you want them to speak. You got to allow me to just have
I didn't call it a debate with you. I called it a bill with you.
Well, this is a debate at this particular point in time because I don't agree with you. So now, because you're talking about my religion. So now what I'm saying is, now we get to the point, who owns the money? So now we like, who owns the money? So what I'm saying is, at this particular moment, I own the money that's in my pocket. Sanetta owns the money that's in his pocket. The One United Bank that I bank with, okay, they are the ones who runs that bank. Those black people. Now, if you're talking about the IMF, okay, which is consistent of also black people, then I would have to say who owns the money as far as the world of currency as we speak. When we're talking about precious metals, refinery accounting, and so forth and so on that backs these currencies, okay, then I would have to say it's a combination of races, inclusive of black people that are part of the International Monetary Fund that may translate into the banking system, which is not exclusive to white people. Now, why we have to always get into white people in these conversations, beyond me, but since you want to include them, the money that's being regulated, the regulatory system for currency around the world is not exclusive to black people, not exclusive to white people. Black people are also involved with it. These are absolute facts. So I'm not going to have you confer to me misinformation. It's just true. Go ahead, my brother. Who owns the money? You got the answer.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that people got a bank. We print money.
Who's we?
All right, so listen, man. Listen to what I'm saying to you. See, what you doing right now is crazy because everybody already knows who owns the whole system. We know about the Jews. We know about.
Why is
what I'm saying to you?
Why is Nature Boy using money since it's evil?
But listen. That's.
Does your following know that you out here spending money on the low? Does your following know you sneaking around spending money?
Wait, hold up. I'm not talking about how you spending money. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that.
What are you saying?
You said money is your religion. You said money is your religion.
You said money's evil.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying money ain't my religion, bro. Money, your religion. Nature's my religion. This is what I'm talking about.
So is nature.
Y'all laughing at me is crazy because it's like you said money your religion. That means that's the way of your life. That's your way of life.
And guess what?
You understand what I'm saying?
And guess what? My way of life is my way of life is part of your way of life because you spending money, and money is my religion. You can't live your life without being part of my religion.
It's a difference.
You're practicing my religion every time you spend money. You're practicing.
Listen. Let me say something. Let me say this.
Go ahead, brother.
In my position right now, if money was to fail, I'm straight. Do you know why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because I own my own land. I harness my own water. I harness my own electricity. I make sure I have my own food on my own yard. I got fruit trees. I make sure I have every resource that I need to survive without money. I could live without money right now. If the money system was to fall off, I wouldn't need it because I'm in a position right now with my own in a place.
Okay.
In the tropics, where we're supposed to be, in a natural environment, where we're supposed to be as a species, is what I'm saying to you.
No doubt. So, are you the same brother that when you was in one of them other countries, they kicked y'all out of it? That's him?
That's one of my struggles that coming out here. Yeah, that's my journey. What about it?
Did you need some money to transition from one place to the next, or did they relocate you?
Absolutely. Listen, let me tell you something. Right now, Polight, because I ain't gonna play this game with you. This is what it is, and it's gonna sound crazy to you, and y'all might laugh at me. But I'm gonna take this moment to educate you on this real quick.
No problem.
Here's what it is. Listen to me right now. Listen. The earth plane. You know how you go to sleep. Let me talk. Don't cut me off. You know how the earth plane, you know how you go to sleep every night and you wake up? You ever wonder why you keep waking up here? Well, that reason why you keep waking up here is because this is a mental plane. You are in a mental plane right now. You don't have a body. You don't have arms. You don't got legs.
So why
you are only a mind.
So why
Listen to what I'm saying.
Why do you call yourself nature boy?
Don't cut me off. Let me finish. Let me finish what I gotta say.
Nature
then you can go.
physical.
You don't have all very closely. You're inside of your body right now. Every city that you walk through or travel through are cancers in your body. Listen to me. The earth plane, the earth that you say is the earth, it has cancer. It's sick. The nature of your body is the equilibrium of your body. And anything that lives against your body, and like even inside your body, anything that lives against the equilibrium of your body or the nature of your body is considered a virus or cancer or disease. And that's what the Caucasian is on this plane. So when we're traveling from one point to another point, because it is infested with their system, they think they have made a way. You have to have a piece of paper. You have to get a green paper to give them a white paper, to give them a blue paper, to get a green paper. That paper thing, that's their imagination, their cancer cells. You're supposed to be an immune system cell. So we use the money against Caesar. We render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's just to get by, just to get through, to get back to the jungle. When we're traveling through, we use their system against them. Oh, they want their little ID? Here you go, get your little ID. We play their little game to pass through their blockages. Now, one of my papers wasn't right to them in their world, but in their mind, one of my papers wasn't right. But see, I'm fully awoken over here. I'm in the jungle. I know who I am. I'm God in human flesh, and which is basically life, which is energy, and out of your own body, and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. That all of us are cells, and either you're going to be a cancer cell inside your body, a disease cell, or you're going to be an immune cell that goes and lives in harmony with your body and gets back to your body. The system that we were raised in is a system that teaches us to go against it, even understand that you God and realize you God. You are a nervous system cell in your body. And guess what your body is? The being that we live inside of is God. Like the cells in your body call you God. They think that you're God. The cells in your body call you the omnipotent force of them because guess what? Your mind controls your biology. So guess what? You are inside of your body. So you're not receiving what the mind of the body that you're in, Allah, is telling you to do, which is to live in harmony. So imagine that you are the being that you live inside of, that you are a cell, right? And the being is sending codes and a mind is to heal the body. Like you're gonna say, I'm gonna heal my body, but your cells in your body do not hear you because they're insulated with rubber on their feet, with clothes on them, but their skin is made for them to communicate with you. So at the end of the day, when something cloaks the communication between you and the cells in your body, your cells in your body don't know how to communicate right with the higher self, which is you. So guess what? That's what this is, brother. Money is the root of all evil because money distracts us from the very thing that we're supposed to be doing, and that is living in tune with our God, which is nature. We must get closer to the sun. The sun is our God. The sun is our mind. We have to get closer to the sun, brother. Your melanin ain't there for no reason for you to be like, yeah, my melanin. No, your melanin is an antenna that connects you with the higher self, which is the being that we live in.
Yo, brother, how long you want to be talking?
Yeah.
That's all. I just wanted, you can say whatever you want to say after that. It don't matter. That's who I am.
Don't cut him off, brother. Let him talk.
Okay. So again, it sounds great. Anything that sounds like it uplifts black.
No, I just wanted to tell you that because at the end of the day, brother Polight, I watch you. You way more intelligent because I watched you break it down. Now I know your astrology. We already got your astrology. My whole squad, we got your astrology. You understand? We know what you about, man. We know what you about, and we know how intelligent you are. We know your choices that you decided to make, and we appreciate your dedication even to your own decisions. But we know that you're far more intelligent than what you providing us. And people know. Our people are looking for you to lead them out of here because you were one of the leader cells in our body. Okay. So you got the power to harm and to keep everybody perpetuating ignorance and lead them against their own will. When you tell people to chase money instead of chasing God, which is nature, getting in tune with the resources, getting in tune with being healthy, making sure that we're in tune with the universe. Brother, we're supposed to be going towards the sun in the jungle. We're supposed to be coming back to an original state. How we're here. All that you're doing is keeping our people down. Okay, we have to come back to God. Our God is nature. Okay, the sun, the moon.
Okay, brother. Okay, so your God is nature. I'm with it. I'm walking with you, brother. Here's the problem. If you said God had a nature, that'd be one thing. But when you say your God is nature, then that means there's no God outside of planet Earth. Because nature only deals with that which is all-encompassing of what's inside of planet Earth. Now, the problem is going to come. He's nature boy, right? But we're living in a mental realm. But he's nature boy. But nature is the phenomena of the physical world. So he's saying we're living in a mental realm. So it
is no physical. It's nothing.
Brother,
physical.
You gotta let him go, nature. Come on, man.
I got you, brother. So
he knows that nothing is physical, though. He knows that nothing is physical.
I disagree with that.
He knows that.
All right, stop, brother. Stop.
He's intelligent.
Stop, brother. Stop.
Do that.
He knows that nothing is physical. Nothing is physical. He knows that.
I'm timing it.
I only got 1 minute in before you started doing this, brother. Please. So listen, and I listened to what you said. I took serious note, and I want to start off with the very word nature. And people say it's not fair when we look up the words that we're using to communicate with each other. Because our page. Now, we're not going to play fair and we're going to make these words mean whatever we want our heart and mind to mean. Then I would say I'll decline respectfully from having this conversation. Because I don't want to play pretend or make believe. I want to use these words to the best of our ability so we can communicate better so there's understanding. Okay? So nature deals with the phenomena of the physical world collectively, including plants, animals, the landscape, and other features and products of the earth, as opposed to humans or humans' creations. Okay? So, God is nature. Okay? And if you go into any science textbook, you're going to see that nature is everything, encompassing everything that just was read here. You notice don't say nothing about outer space, right? Because if it's nature, like, right, Mother Nature, right, Mother Earth, if it's nature, it's inside planet Earth. If it's outside of planet Earth, we're dealing with the cosmos and universe. So his God is limited to the physical world. That's one thing we know. We're living on a mental plane, but unfortunately, he's nature boy. So he's the only one not included in this mental plane because he's nature boy. He's not mental boy. That would have been dope if he was mental boy, because then he exists on a mental plane. And he may have incarnated and come in a physical personage in this natural or nature realm to be able to confer information to us about the mental realm. But instead, this is the mental realm. Now, let me tell you what the mental realm is on planet Earth. It's called the ionosphere. You have a stratosphere, you have a troposphere, you have a mesosphere, you have a hemisphere, you have the outer layer called outer space, you have the hemisphere. The ionosphere is where mental transmission can take place. That's where radio signals can take place. Sometimes two people thinking about the same song at the same exact time because the landscape is so high, you're picking up radio frequencies that have been modulated. This is called FM. This is a fact. Okay, and you can look it up, frequency modulation, and the higher the altitude, the more susceptible and vulnerable you are to messages being transmitted to you, just like walkie-talkies or radio signals. So the mental plane of planet Earth is the ionosphere. I'll give you another example. Planes cannot travel unless they're on the stratosphere. But if they're about to reach turbulence, then they'll go to the troposphere, because that's the only two places where planes can fly. Okay, so there's different spheres on planet Earth that we can liken to what we like to call chakras. Like the planet Earth technically has chakras, if we will. If we're going to make an analogy between the planet Earth being divided 7 times or even 9, then we can make that analogy. I'm not doing that, just painting some imagery here so we can find where the mental plane is on planet Earth, which is the ionosphere. That's the number 4th plane on planet Earth. That's where all the mental projections and transmissions is really going to take place. That's where they descend, ascend, and that's where there's the most ability for human beings to communicate modulated frequencies in order to transmit messages. Okay? Now back to money. If money is the root of evil, I don't know why he is exempt from the very evil, because then that would suggest to me if money is evil, every transaction is wicked. That's what that would suggest to me. If money is the root to all evil, and in fact he contends money is evil, everyone else on planet Earth for spending it.
And in fact, he should be worse because he knows money's evil.
He knows better than to spend his damn money, and he's spending his money. So, and when, hold on.
We have to understand that money is being used.
Take a mental note.
We have to understand that money is taken from nature.
Okay,
money is taken from nature. What makes money valuable is natural resources. So that means we have to take the money that we do have and put it back into nature. That means if I have money, what I'm doing with my money is giving it back to the earth. What you're doing with your money is recycling it back to the man.
Take your time. So what makes money valuable?
It's a difference because the money that we have access to, we're using it to make sure that we won't ever need money. We're making sure that we'll never need money when that system fails. And it will fail. The economy will fail. But you have to understand, if you don't have resources, it don't matter.
We don't want to put you on mute. Stop. So, he just said we're making sure that we don't need money, right? Which means they presently do need money, which means you presently need to act like the wicked, and you presently need to partake in debauchery because money's evil, which means y'all are working.
We have to render the season what it's season.
No problem.
It's infested out here.
No problem.
It's infested.
So look, when I use money, I'm not in a state of compromise. When y'all use money, y'all are in a state of compromise. Welcome to my religion.
Yeah, when you use money, when you use money, we watch what you spend your money on. When you use money, you use it for the ignorant. We're taking the money and getting the fuck out the system.
Okay.
You're using the money to live in the system.
Hold on.
It's a difference. It's a difference.
Hold on.
That's like getting freedom papers.
Okay.
They're giving you their money. You're supposed to use it to get your own resources. You're using it to party and chill with celebrities.
Hold on, brother. Here's the question. It's a serious question. So money's not evil when you use it. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that money is evil. I said it's the root of all evil.
No.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
No, you said money was evil. In this conversation, you said money was evil.
Money, guess who owns the bank? The devil itself owns the bank. The devil itself owns the bank.
We've learned from this conversation. So listen, what we're going to do is this. Okay? We know what you said. And if you want to retract the statement, we don't mind. You also said God is nature. And we now know that nature is only that which is all-inclusive or encompassing of that which is within the confines of planet Earth, not outside of Earth. So we know after Earth...
No, it's not. That's not the only definition. That's not the only definition of nature. You only need to find me. You only read one thing. You only want
find me a definition of nature that tells you something about outer space. I'll wait.
Okay, look. Go down the definitions and you'll see it. It's the controlling, compelling force of life. That's what it is. Nature is the controlling of the universe. It is the controlling, compelling force of the universe. Now, look at this. You'll see it if you want to use the dictionary. Look at it.
I'm looking for it. Where sense is that? I'm looking for it. Hold on.
Look, it's a bunch of definitions for nature. Nature that I'm talking about is the controlling, compelling force of the universe. Look it up.
What dictionary reference is there? You told me look down, and it's clearly not here. It's not here, just so people don't.
No, go ahead. Look in the dictionary.
What is the name of the dictionary that you're using, so I can use it as a point of reference?
Okay, well, hold on. Hold it up. I mean, so you got to put in the word correctly. Put in nature definition in Google.
I did, and I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, so you looking at the one that pulls up regularly?
I looked at the first one in the search engine. Yes, I mean, you was reading from something. Read it again. Was you reading, or you was just making the shit up? You was just reading from something. Read it again.
Listen.
Say it the same way. Say it the same way you just said.
If you go to the listen, brother.
Damn, you want to nature funny as hell.
You can go to damn, bro. Go to dictionary.com. Dictionary.com.
Okay, let's go. Let's go to dictionary.com. You know light is solid, right?
Light is solid, liquid, and gas.
Oh, shit. Where are you getting this information from? How is light, liquid, and gas? You know gas...
Are you ready?
Gas creates the light that becomes solid. The transition between the hydrogen and helium.
Okay. Are you ready for the definitions in dictionary.com?
Yeah, it's physical. Go ahead. Dictionary.com.
Let's move it. Let's move down. Because you know, I wouldn't say anything that wasn't there.
I got you. Read it for me, brother. I got you. Dictionary.com. Where we at? Where do we go?
You got to scroll down. It's the white man stuff right here. We got to scroll down.
Inherent character, basic.
They got. You can look at number 12.
Number 12.
When we talk about nature,
Mine goes to
when we
number
talk
9.
about nature, you can't even understand life without understanding nature. Everything you know about life, even your money, is backed by nature. Nature is everything. The air that you breathe is nature. They couldn't build an airplane without nature, brother. Come on, nature. Science is the study of the natural world. Come on, like you can't go against nature. It's down to Antichrist.
Brother, can you read it off? I'm not finding it. Just read it off. I'll trust you. Just read it off, brother.
Let me see.
Okay, the universe with all its phenomena. Do you see number 5?
I don't have it. I'm typing it in.
Okay, well, your wife is right there. She pulling up everything else. No disrespect to you, Queen.
What did you say?
Can you help?
What did you say?
Can you help me, please?
Number
it's
5.
dictionary.com. It's the first website.
I'm on dictionary.com.
I'm looking for it. Come on, brother. You can read it. I don't have a problem. Just read it. That's all I'm asking you to do.
I just read it for you. The universe. It says the universe with all its phenomena.
The universe
is nature.
The universe and all its phenomena is nature.
The sum total of the forces at work throughout the universe. Number 6. Do you see it?
Oh, physical. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm listening.
And...
No. The sum total of the forces at work throughout the universe.
Yes.
Do you see number 6?
Yeah.
Yes, you're talking about physicality. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Oh, I'm just showing you where it's beyond what you're talking about.
If you're dealing with that which is physical, you're dealing with nature.
He's proving your point.
You know.
No, it's beyond. Nature is beyond the physical, brother. The air you breathing is from nature. Everything that
Okay, let me ask you something.
Look, let me say it like this. I'm gonna say.
So is air physical? Is air physical or not?
I'll break it down like this. Let me break it down. Let me break it down for you. All right.
Go ahead, brother.
You eat vegan, right?
This is correct.
All right. So you eat a plant, right?
This is correct.
To sustain your life.
This is correct.
You could say that plant was physical, right?
It definitely is.
But all physical matter has came from some non-physical matter. All physical matter comes from a non-physical matter. When you have gas,
Go ahead.
you have liquid, and then you have solid. We know this when you boil water.
Yes, and all
that
those.
the water boils into a gas, but it's non-physical.
All of that is
it's
physical.
Still
nature is that which is physical, brother. That which is physical is nature. That's a fact.
No, that's not true. That's not. I just showed you in the dictionary. Anybody want to look it up with me? You want Moranium? Whatever you want to call it? Mariam?
Are you saying that liquid?
Mariam dictionary?
Are you saying liquid and gas is not physical? Are you saying air is not physical? Are you saying
nothing is physical?
Hold on. Are you saying
nothing is physical?
Hold on, brother. Stop. In chemistry, you do know the word force is the ability to do work. You do know what work means in chemistry as well, right? I can give you some examples of work.
And I'm telling you that you are a living, breathing spirit. That you're not even really what you think is solid. What you think is solid is spirit. It's energy.
Okay.
It is spirit. It is nothing is solid, and you know that. You know that nothing is solid, brother. All is nature.
So hold on, nothing's solid, and
nothing is solid, and you know that and when you look at the basic building block of life is an atom. Inside of an atom, we know it's 99.99999 what? Energy.
Brother, can we stop all of this pseudo stuff? Hold on, brother.
Stop. Okay, no, that's the building block. No, you said you want to be logical about it.
You gotta let him talk too,
man. The atom that your body is built on, the fabric of life. When we look at the fabric of life, we know that it's emptiness. So when you say something solid, quantum physics will tell you clearly that it's not solid.
If we're gonna talk quantum
physics, when you say that the natural world is everything physical, then you're not talking about chemistry, because chemistry, and if you're saying that gas is not physical, I mean that is physical. Then come on, man, what are we saying here, man?
Gas is physical, so is air.
Like,
and you said, hold on, he said everything is in the spirit, then, right? That's what you said. Everything's in the spirit.
You said that gas is physical.
Okay, we're going to do this again.
Can we look at the word physical, brother? Can we look at the word physical?
I just asked you a question, my brother, and then you're jumping in front of me to ask me a question. You're doing this again. Is everything in the spirit, brother? I don't mind answering your question. Please answer mine. I asked first. Is everything in the spirit?
Everything is spirit.
Now.
That's a fact. You are living
okay, I got you. Stop. Before the cookbook. Stop. Now, is breath physical or not?
Breath is non-physical.
Breath is non-physical. So
to the definition that you bring it to.
Okay, I don't know. Hey, I can speak for myself. Let's not do that. So if I got a balloon right now.
Okay, well look at the definition.
My brother, stop.
Physical.
Okay, stop, brother, stop. You'll do that on your time. Stop. I'm asking some questions here. Now, if I get a balloon and I fill it up with my breath, is it occupying space? Does it have any mass? Does it have any kind of buoyancy? Is there any room being used?
No, that's pressure. That's called pressure.
That's not called pressure.
There's no material inside there. You can't grab that out. You can grab the balloon, but you can't grab the air. Come on, man.
So if I took the air out the room, would you be able to exist?
Absolutely not. Come on, you ask me that.
Because the air is taking up space, therefore it occupies. You know, D equals M over V.
I'm asking you the definition of something physical.
Density. Stop, brother. Density equals mass over volume. You're not going to play games. Density equals mass over volume. And let me explain why I said this in the first place. Because everything's in the spirit. But what this brother don't know, spirit means breath. Okay? Respiration, spirit ain't come from the same thing. Inspiration, aspiration, respiration, perspiration, it all comes from the same root word spirit, which means breath, and breath occupies space. That's why in the Bible it says God blew his breath into man, man became a living soul, and the word that they use is nefesh chayim. Yo.
Just keep talking, they can't hear.
Yeah, so this guy, the problem is, anytime you deal with nature, you're dealing with that which is physical.
I got him on low so the people can hear.
No scientist is ever going to turn around and use words and terms like nature when they have to specifically deal with the cosmos. They're not going to do that because nature is predicated upon physicality. And even when they use the word nature and they talk about cosmos, guess what words they have to use? Force. You know what the problem is? He wants to use the colloquial meaning of force, like if I blow my breath on something and he says, oh, that's pressure. He'll probably call that force too. Force in chemistry is the ability to do work. What is work? An instance of work is D equals M over V. Density equals mass over volume. Okay? And any way you flip it around, volume's going to even mass over density. It's any way you flip it around, we're dealing with things that constitute the elements that make up the physical world. That's nature we're dealing with. Anything outside of the context of nature,
just keep talking.
anything you deal. So in order for us to, we have to find the anti-nature. We have to find the anti-nature, boy. That's what we need to deal with in order to get this information. Nature is always going to be constituted by the physical realm. That's a fact.
He think you Pharaoh. Tell him that.
Yeah, like, bro, like, you're not going to just use any words you want to use and talk about DNA and information and all this other stuff.
All right, hold on, nature, hold on.
You always.
Let's deal with your God now. Let's deal with the sun. Let's move forward. Explain to us why. Explain to us why. Explain to us why that the sun is your God.
Okay, but I just want to say this. We want to take note that he did not look in the dictionary. He looked for money. He did not look in the dictionary truly for what nature is as I saw it. He told me to look it up.
Oh.
I looked up into his book and showed him where it was the compelling controlling force of the universe.
Yes.
That it wasn't just physical.
And what is the word
it was
force?
the force of the universe, and that meant all of the universe. It doesn't mean all of the universe.
What does force mean, bro? Are you taking the colloquial meaning or scientific meaning of force, which is the ability to do work? And then what does work mean?
Okay,
and you're going to find out it constitutes
let's
matter.
Let's move forward.
Yeah, we should move forward. Let's move forward. Let's move
All
forward.
right, so
because the problem is
listen
with our people. Let's say I was dealing with law, right? And I used the word minority. The minority doesn't deal with percentage. Now minority deals with.
He said nature was what was dealing with
the physical. Can you stop real quick, brother? So let's say, for example, if I was dealing with law, now we have to have a different nomenclature. Now, if I was looking to spin y'all around using big words, I wouldn't define what I say immediately after I say it. Sometimes we're going to have to use these 4-syllable words, 5-syllable words, despite people's insecurities. Nomenclature is a specific assortment of words that caters to a genre in particular because the colloquial meaning is not
those are big words. Nobody can understand you. Come on, be simple.
Okay,
let's
cool.
make it.
With someone with all this knowledge, I don't even know what a big word is.
That a wise person makes something complicated.
Good. I understand.
And only a fool makes something simple and make it complicated.
I got you.
You should be able to talk to people
real quick.
to make them understand what you're saying. When you use big words, you make people feel inferior. And that's not cool.
Okay, good.
That's not
so
cool,
feel inferior.
That's you can't run that with me.
Instead of us trying to upset each other's
relating to the
vocabulary,
body as opposed to the mind. Relating to things perceived through the senses as opposed to the mind.
Only black people
You
say that.
understand what I'm saying? Tangible or concrete.
Only black people
That's
want to
what the
tell you
word
use smaller
physical
words and they want to talk longer than the people with the bigger
Tangible or
words.
Listen.
Because I use bigger words, I'm able to talk for shorter periods of time. Because the bigger words get me straight to the point.
Right.
The word physical means to.
So he can look up a small word like physical.
Now the word tangible. Do you want to look up the word tangible or concrete?
Not at this present moment, brother.
Let's get to the God, man.
I'm
Let's get to the Son of God.
I'm going to finish what I was saying.
We can get to the God, but listen,
I'll finish what I was saying, and then you can.
Now he's trying to prove that untangible forces are physical.
I don't know what he's talking about at this present moment in time, but I'm going to finich what I'm saying, and then he can finish what he has to say to disprove me.
The metaphysical, maybe he's talking about the metaphysical, but not the physical.
Physical, in terms of metaphysics, the word metaphysics caters specifically to physics because there was a point where they were stuck in science at the point of classical physics, and they said anything that comes after classical physics is going to be called metaphysics, which was still dealing with physical things.
Yo, hold on, nature. We ain't got that much time, man. Yo, I want you to deal with your God right quick.
Tell him I'm going to talk for 3 minutes, and he can talk his 10, 12 like he does. And I'll wait. Give me my 3 minutes, G. You can keep using as much minutes as you need. Give me my 3 minutes.
Because this phone going to cut off. Nature, you there?
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm there.
All right, I want you to break down your God. Not yet. Let Polight get his little 3 minutes in, man.
You ain't got no charge. You can put your phone on. You can't put your phone on charge.
All day.
No.
And plus, I got to bounce him. But I'm going to listen to what you got to say respectfully, brother. Just hold on real quick. Now, here's the problem. And this is the biggest problem. As an example, if we was dealing with law, we have to deal with the nomenclature of law. This means an assortment of words that specifically cater to the interests and needs of that genre of information. There's nothing hard about hearing the meaning, because if you looked at the word nomenclature, you would hear what I was just saying. So it's nothing difficult about learning big words, especially if the person's using the 4 or 5 syllable words you complain about, also expressing what they mean and represent. But I will not belittle my people to the point where I'm going to talk Google Gaga shit to them when their words are GPS to our reality. We need to use the right words to speak in the best terms, because sometimes some words just don't cater there. So what we find is scientific theory, which is a culmination of facts that we use to arrive definitively at a conclusion, whereby theory is predicated upon guessing. It's 2 different things. So sometimes I talk about scientific theory, people think I'm talking about theory. And in law, and I use the word minority, it can render one a homo commendatus. This is an adult that thinks in an adolescent state of mind. But if I use the dictionary colloquial meaning of minority, is when we're talking about... Okay, brother, thank you. So the problem is, when we're talking about science, one instance in law, we see the colloquial meaning of minority meaning percentage, but then when we deal with law, we see that minority caters to the idea that is an adult thinking in an adolescent state of mind. When we deal with science, and we're talking about scientific phraseologies, understand that even when you look it up in the dictionary, if we're talking about nature, and then they start talking about the universe, and then they start using words like force, now we have to be able to say, you know what, what's my import? They're not talking about force based on the colloquial meaning. They're talking about force based on chemistry or based on some realm of physics. And force in physics or chemistry is the ability to do work. And then work takes on another connotation because it takes on another meaning outside of its colloquial or its most common context that most people speak in. So when having these conversations, I'm saying this to the people out there, it's very important that the person that you're building with understands the nomenclature of that which they profess to have knowledge about. Because if you're going to speak about physics, which you eventually have to get into if you're going to talk about nature and then persist to transcend the depths of nature, the least you can do is take the time out to be educated in physics so you can speak in the nomenclature of it or understand it for the same. That's all I want to say. It's not a big word issue. It's about understanding the verbiage of the genre of information that you're discussing instead of staying locked in and complaining about words. Now, the brother could talk about the God thing. I'll close out on whatever my rebuttal may be. I might agree with him. I may not agree with him.
All right, let him go in. Let him go in. Go ahead, Nature. You got the floor, brother.
I love Brother Polight, yeah. You be killing with the words, boy. Boy, I tell you, boy. I love his vocabulary, man. He's a wizard. This man is a wizard, man. Gotta give it up to him, man. I appreciate your mind, and it's an honor for me to bounce my mind off of yours, yo. You heard?
Now you see why Pharaoh backed out of the debate, right?
So listen. So when it comes to the sun being our God, the sun is the source of all life. That's what we are, what we're living and breathing. The sun makes our bones. We know this because of the cholesterol on our skin that converts into an unactive form of vitamin D that is now been digested by our liver and kidneys and turns into an active form of vitamin D, which actually strengthens our bones. When we talk about the human anatomy, we have to realize that the human anatomy, we have to look at the structure of the human anatomy. So we have to look at the bones. So we have to realize that we're crystals. We're Merkabas. We have EMS fields. We're vibrating to the frequency of being solid, meaning that we are actually not even solid. We're vibrations of what appears to be solid. And what we think is solid is not truly solid, and quantum physics shows us that. But when we look at the food that we intake it to store energy from the sun through the plant, or as people eat meat, they eat the third party because the meat eats the plant. But the plant gets its light from the sun. The sun actually is absorbed by the plant through photosynthesis and gives it the nutrients from the ground. Also, the ground and the minerals of the earth, the metals and the minerals of the earth, gives it the nutrients that it needs, which is all converted to give you the sun in a converted form. So we are the sun, and the earth is the sun, and the earth and all of the planets are different, what we call spirits. This is what we believe in our culture. All of the planets in our solar system are spirits of the sun. Okay? And so the sun is the source of what we are, and it is what we are, because the sun became the earth, the sun became Mars, the sun became all of the planes of existence. We have came here consciously, through consciousness. This is how we got here. The first memory that you ever had as a child is you just popped up into this realm. You just got here. You just woke up and started responding to the stimuli. So the world is holographic, and it's being projected through our eyeballs. And with, you know what I'm saying, what you see is eyeballs, they're projections. And we just logged in at the first memory that we ever had. When we logged in at this first memory that we had, we therefore started responding to the stimuli of our hologram. And no one ever asked the questions, yo, where was I before this time of me logging in? We go to sleep every night, we go into the darkness, and our mind, just like it does in this realm, lights up our dreams of existence. So what we have to realize is the source, the light, and I hate to bring the Bible up, but we wrote this shit and they bastardized it. But in John 1 in the Bible, it says, in the beginning was the Word, which is the thought. In the beginning was the thought, and the thought was with God, and the thought was God. The same in the beginning with God, all things were made through it, and without it, nothing was made that was made. So we are thought. That's what we are. We're in a thought plane. And we are God because we are the thought that we think. So with that being understood, the source of all our mind is the light and is the source of our well-being, and that's what sustains our life. This is why our gods in African culture was the sun, was the moon, was the earth, because the earth is another form of the sun. It's all converted energy. Energy is only, this is what we say in our culture. God is energy. Life is sex. Life meaning sacred exchange of energy. Life is a constant exchange from one hydrogen atom to lithium atom to carbon. It's all converted one energy to another form of energy, and it all is coming from a source, and that source is the sun. And that's why we look at our higher self as the sun, and we are the descended version of the sun here on the earth. The earth is actually the sun. In fact, it's a form of the sun. It's not actually the sun. It's like saying that that hydrogen is oxygen. Well, they're two different atoms, but they come from the same source. So the earth is vibrating to a different frequency of what the sun is. So at this frequency, the earth takes shape and form as the sun, as the earth. And then we come from the earth. You understand? We come from the earth, and everything around us is us. We are energy. That's all that we are. We transform this energy. This is to understand our hologram. So when we look up in the sky and we see the source of where he comes from, that is our God. God is our sun. God is what sustains our life. The moon, everything brings balance and order. Our brothers are a form of nature, human nature, because human is God in human form. So we must love one another. If we love our God, we must love one another because the sun is everything. The breath that I'm breathing to talk to you right now, right? I'm going to break this down and I'm going to give him the mic. Now, the sun makes our bone. Our bone is the structure of our being. The bones of your body is the structure of your being. The sun converted through, like I told you about the cholesterol, and from the food you eat, from the thyroid gland creates calcitrol. Calcitrol is what creates new bone in your body. So the sun actually is converted between plant life, and the cholesterol on your skin and the melanin in your skin is absorbed to bring you. That's what the melanin is. That's what you are. You are the sun. And so the sun meets the sun. The universe is communicating with the universe. This is why it's imperative that we don't block our skins with deodorants and our aura and our electromagnetic field with deodorants and cover our skin up with clothes and stuff, because the universe is trying to constantly stay in contact with us so that we can feelize through our nerves that we are the higher self. We are that. We keep the connection. But when we disconnect by putting rubber on our shoes and all of that stuff, then when we live a life that disconnects us from what we are, then we lose our mind and we start vibrating at a lower frequency of brain waves that make us live in what is called our lower self. We're still God, but God is now a mortal being. God was an immortal being when it was connected to knowing that it was immortal and it was a spirit, but now man become what we call like a human and think that death is real and we fear death and we live in the lower self. So the bones make the sun makes your bones, which are crystals, and your bones make your blood. The inside of the blood in your body is made by your bones, the bone marrow, right? Your bone marrow makes your blood. So the bones make the blood.
All right,
and
brother.
then we get oxygen.
You gotta go.
This is the last bit. This is the last bit. Let me finish. The blood makes your bone makes your blood, and your blood makes your breath. Because you can't have oxygen without the hemoglobin in your blood. So we call it the 3 Bs: bone, blood, breath. This is what we is: solid, liquid, and gas at the same time. We understanding the phenomena of nature. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I said God is the sun, because we are the sun, descended here on earth, but we are the earth before we the sun. It converts from the earth, and then we come from the earth. We eat from the earth. We convert the sun from the earth, and now we are the sun. I don't know if he understands this, but this is why we say we are our resources. We are the sun, which is the source of our resources.
All right, thank you, brother.
That's how.
I'm gonna tell you what the problem is with these long cookbooks. The problem is so much misinformation gets disseminated that it would take me longer than he has the patience for me to talk to dissect these.
But I appreciate you talking to me. We should build more. I know we about to say we should build more. We got more to build on.
All right, he didn't cut you off though. Let him go now, Nature.
So the issue with this
No, go ahead.
The issue is, if we should build again, we have to talk in shorter intervals so we can address the things that's being said, because there's a plethora of things being said that I disagree with, that we don't have the time for right now, unfortunately. Though I can take a mental note of it, and I'll keep it in mind. Like he said, the melanin is the sun. It's totally a ridiculous thing to say. And then if I were to ask him if melanin is acidic or not, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have an answer for that, because he'd be worrying about the chess move for if he says it's acidic or not. Because that's going to be the underlying theme to how we know melanin is not the sun. If melanin is acidic or not. We can give him that to look up. Another thing is, he keeps talking about solid, liquid, and gas. Why would he not mention plasma, which is a fourth state of matter that plays an integral role to this world? He keeps saying solid, liquid, gas. So his knowledge is stopping him at solid, liquid, gas. And what I'm telling him about this physical world, I understand what he would like to say had he went further in studying. He wants to say, or he should say, that this world is not so much physical, it is more or less an aggregation of molecules. All right? And therefore, since it's an aggregation of molecules, it may behoove us to say it that way as opposed to saying physical, whereby, unfortunately, physical is still the word, it's not in question. But a step further would be an aggregation of molecules. One, that'd be an easier thing for him to say than to say nothing is here solid. Everything here is not physical. We're on a mental plane. No, say an aggregation of molecules. That's one. Two, positivity and negativity. We don't want to say nothing about negativity. Let's say it's cathartic. That is the best and most appropriate term when we're talking about the energies. Then he says the food is being converted into different forms or renditions of the sun so we can sustain ourselves. Paraphrasing. It's being converted into the food. The sun is being converted into different forms for us to stay alive. This we can call photosynthesis, right? And that's not the sun. That's light being synthesized. Light is being broken down for specific purposes. Like in a plant, it's information being transmitted so the plant can make food. Okay? Light is also being synthesized through the first cousin, that is melanin, to chlorophyll, for purposes for us to also be able to relay messages from one part of our body to the next. But it's not the sun. It's the light, which is very different from when it comes from the sun to when it comes into this atmosphere, that's being synthesized for purposes of us being able to facilitate on this physical plane. Okay? So here we find plasma is left out of states of matter for whatever reason. Here we find the inability to properly address or identify what it is that needs to be said because of a lack of information. And so, to close out, I would look forward to a follow-up conversation about whatever, or even revisit some of these themes. But what I
gotta get y'all on my Google Hangout together. That's it.
But what I gotta ask for there has to be a time limit because I can't keep doing
Right.
3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes to 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and then in the internal me talking, I got to get cut off. And questions have to be answered on both sides. He can't be over here asking me questions because I just asked him a question. Because I be thinking he getting the order of questioning wrong. You can't be demurring throughout the course of this whole conversation. Maybe you need to do it once in order to properly address something you got to say, but not throughout the course of the conversation. Ask me a question because I asked you a question. We ain't going to do that. And the final statement, let's address this. We never got a reference for where he gets his ideas from. Every time I ask, where you getting this from? The only thing that I can't trust is, we can't trust the white man, but we definitely got to trust him because he's God. According to him, he's woke, he's by the equator, he's living in the jungle, and if he needed anything, if money was to disappear, he'd still be able to survive. That certainly wasn't the case when he was displaced in the other country where he was. The very thing that's the root of all evil, which was the root to his ability to transition from one place to the next. So I don't understand how it's the root of evil, or all evil. Okay, people can do wicked things. Money doesn't do wicked things. We might as well go around here blaming guns for killing people too. We might as well turn around and say that gun just smacked the hell out of somebody and that $5 bill just tripped somebody. And you know what? All these inanimate objects is going crazy, wilding out on the human race, or it's the human race wilding out. Okay? So we got to really put things into proper context because when we blame money, we evade the responsibility of being accountable ourselves as people. Okay? So we don't want to misappropriate where the energy is supposed to go. God's energy, stop misappropriating energy. The energy of identification for who does right or wrong is in the people. The power has always been invested in the people, not the dollar, not the gun, not any other inanimate object, but the people. Get out of this. We never spent money stuff. I'm tired of hearing black people say it, and then when you ask them, show me the society where we didn't use money, because I understand what money is, and it's a system of transference. Okay, it's bartering, it's buying, it's selling, it's exchanging. There's always going to be a form of currency. And even when he said we use morality and we exchange that one thing for the other, then morality would be currency in his pseudo claim. It would have to also be currency.
That's a trade.
But I couldn't reference anything that we get out the history books because automatically it comes from the white man. But when we ask him where you get it from, he doesn't have a place.
He go to the dictionary.
He doesn't have a place. No, but he can use the dictionary when it's at his leisure. But if I use it, I'm trying to use too much words, or whatever that means. I've never heard a person complain so much about words. Well, black people in general. We have a tendency to complain about words when we're communicating. I don't get it. I don't get it. And the big word thing. You're using big word. No, I'm using the word you're unfamiliar with. That's it. And if I make sure while I'm speaking, I elaborate in detail why that word is being used, which I shouldn't have to do all the time. But you're making people feel insecure. I don't care who feels insecure. The goal is to teach, and teach specifically to what I'm talking about. So you've got to pick up context clues what I'm talking about, but what I also do is make sure I define as I'm going, or I give you enough context clues. You ever learn how to read back in the days? Your parents say, what does that word mean? Read everything before and after that word, and then arrive at a conclusion to see what that word means. What's wrong with black people talking about you using big words? You can pick up most of the stuff I'm saying if you just keep up with conversation. And then you could tighten up on it if you look it up.
They want to keep you in the hood.
They want to keep us in the hood. Only a person looking to deceive you will tell you to keep yourself uneducated. Only a person looking to deceive you will tell you no need to start using any bigger words. And I don't read to use bigger words. The things that I read introduce me to new words. And when I get introduced to new words, I say, man, this word is easier for me to address what's going on than for me to use 20 words to talk to people like babies. I just use this one word. This word get me where I gotta go. That's why I'm able to say 5, 6, 7 different things when I'm building. Because I'm able to use the word that specifically addresses that thing in particular. So, salute to the brother. I'm glad we're not cursing each other out, but I really need my brother to give people more time to speak. Because this ain't
Nature, you still there, brother?
I really need the brother to give me more time to speak in the future. Because I'm not always going to be here like this. And he's telling me I'm bullying him, and he's cutting me off all the time.
Nature, you still there?
So it's all good. But that was love. That was a lot of fun. I miss doing this type of stuff.
He's still there, but phone hang up.
He ain't there mentally. He's on mental plane. He ain't here. He on mental plane.
Nature, you still there?
I hear you. Can hear me?
I hear you now.
You hear me?
I hear you.
He on the mental plane. He ain't here. He on the mental plane.
I would like to build on a better time, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's do that.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's build at a better time. We can do it very soon. I'm looking forward to it, my brother.
Hey, yo, tell Polight that it wasn't no hard feelings in what I was saying. Like, I'm feeling like
I don't feel no
we
problem.
we do need to make sure that we know how to manifest money. I'm not saying that we don't need to know how to manifest money and make money. We do need to learn how to do that.
All right.
In order, how we gonna get out of our situation without money?
All right, Nature, we gotta go. Nature, we gotta go. He's with his wife. Yo, I got your number. Call me later on, Nature, so me and you can do something.
All right, salute. See you later, my brother.
All right, that's what it is. Let's build later.
Definitely
Peace,
build
peace,
later.
Nature.
Peace.
Finish?
At the end of the day, he has to practice